Welcome to the ultimate day of thoroughbred racing. It's been compared to the Super Bowl, like a 7 game World Series condensed into one day, culminating with the Breeders' Cup Classic. Old and young, sprinters and distance runners alike, converge here at the young but spectacular Lewis Downs. So much action, it is hard to keep up with it all. We've got the 2-year-olds who will be running in their first stakes races, while the veteran 7-year-olds race in their last ever races. Over $3.7 million in purse money is up for grabs. Not only will 13 stakes winners make their way to the winner's circle, but for the first time, we will crown a top breeder. And of course, for the second time, a league champion will be crowned. Will Nate repeat and claim back to back championships? Or will a new name chase him down and hoist their first HRFL trophy? Here on the final race day of the second season of Chris Lewis's Google Sheets based horse racing simulation dynasty fantasy league, this is the Breeders' Cup World Championships. And we welcome you to beautiful Lewis Downs here in Gainesville, Florida. Jimmy Rakes here, your stride by stride guide for all of today's action. And 16 races on tap, mostly stakes races, of course. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the weather and see what we're in for. Oh my. We have rain today in the Breeders' Cup. As you can see there, the dirt track will be running muddy. The turf track will be running soft. And does that mean no effect on the synthetic track, right? Is that,
We don't have any races on the
oh,
synthetic.
no, oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Should There you go. So we got a muddy dirt and we got soft turf here in the swamp, living up to its name, Rainy Day Championship. So little more intrigue added to an already very, very intriguing day of racing. And for more on all today's races and to get you ready for our last day of the season, let's send it over to Chris Lewis.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, not just a little bit of rain. Conditions are really wet, and it's going to impact the races. We'll see how. All right. Preview of what we'll talk about here in the pregame show, real quick. So we'll, of course, cover the standings. We got a champion to crown today. We'll talk about how we got here. We got Nate's Knowledge, our new segment this year. Farewell to our retiring 7-year-olds. A generation is leaving us after today. We'll preview just a couple of races, and then, of course, the returning segment, very popular, Dark Horse Detective. Um, Last year we had a sort of like a town hall meeting as soon as the season ended, or yeah, as soon as the last race ended. We're not going to do that this time. We'll crown a champ and sign off. But here's a couple notes to look forward because looking forward, there's some things in the off season. Um, So you're going to have 1 week after this to voluntarily relinquish any horse that you want. Otherwise, you'll keep them in the next season, including retiring horses. So it'll be Saturday at noon is your deadline to just release horses. Then the very exciting breeding period is the next 3 weeks. Um, the horses have recessive genes now, so there should be more variation in how much the offspring ends up like their parents. So it's still most likely if you breed, for example, a C grade horse and an E grade horse, that a D grade horse will be the result. Um, but it'll be just less predictable than before. And those recessive genes, of course, were randomly assigned. So there are horses that have recessive genes that, if they were dominant, would make them A grade horses, and they're just hiding amongst the hundreds of horses in the league. You won't know which they are unless you give it a try. So maybe it's worth breeding some of those lower grade horses now. Um, all right, of course, just like last year, everyone's money will reset for the next year after we crown a champion tonight. Every horse's birthday is tomorrow. So if they're 3 years old now, they're 4 years old tomorrow, and it's 4 years old to 9 years old can breed. So if they're three today, they can breed this year. And then I know it sounds like a lot, so if you want to chat with me about it, I like talking about it. Maybe we go get some French fries, and I can, if I've made stuff confusing, we can talk about it. All right, but what we're here to talk about today is the Breeders' Cup. So here's how things changed after day 17. Uh, Very little changes in the standings. Mark passed Stefan down at the bottom because Stefan made some claims. Um, Here are the standings today after entry fees. So you'll see Zach spent quite a bit and dropped down from eighth to ninth. Stefan has $1,800 left, so he can't even afford the $5,000 claims horses, but he's playing the long game. He's here for next year. Um, all right, so the gap between first and second, that's between Nate and Kalen, is $567,150. The last race of the year, the Breeders' Cup Classic, the take-home prize money for that race is 504,000 by itself. And the entry fees have already been assessed here on the right. So uh, if Kalen can make up just $63,000 on the first 15 races, then she's got a horse, Luck of the Irish, the all-time winningest horse in terms of prize money in the last race, and Nate does not have a horse in the last race. So if Kalen can just make up 63 grand on the first 15 races, we could watch Luck of the Irish race for this $504,000 prize in the championship. Alex has an A grade horse in the Breeders' Cup Classic too. He's got to make up a little more than 63, but he's right there also. Um, Charlie does not have to get himself within 504,000 because he's got three horses in the Breeders' Cup Classic. And while it'd be a long shot, they could finish, more than one of them could finish in the top three. The take-home prize for second place in that race is almost 200 grand, and for third place is almost 100 grand. So Charlie in the last race could win like $800,000 almost. Um, so very exciting. The Nate's up by quite a bit, but it's not over. All right, we're going to cover a little bit how we got here. I felt like the theme might be that there were some really good but imperfect seasons. I'll talk about some of those. All right, first up, Kaylin, we just talked about Luck of the Irish won the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont Stakes. Kaylin had a commanding lead going into the 2-year-old draft, but then she spent more than expected there, and she's now in second. The question is going to be, did she leave herself with a chance to catch up to Nate, or did she spend too much in the 2-year-old draft and let Nate get out of reach? We'll see. Next up, Brett. He had a really solid first half and was in second place going into the 2-year-old draft. He then spent every dollar he was allowed to spend and left in last place. Um, he didn't know what Kalen was going to do, but had he not spent or had he spent considerably less, because of the amount Kalen spent, Brett could have ended the draft in first place with a very strong stable. He's the only one with two A grade horses, three or older, um, and maybe could have closed it out this year. Could have been in first place and closed it out this year. Next, Nate. How about this? He's in first place. He's got 0 stakes race wins, and he's actually had some pretty poor performances in stakes races. I looked at him. Uh, in the first 11th, he got finished 14th and 16th in the Saudi Cup, uh, third in the Preakness. But look, a lot of these finishes down in the teens and not even in the top 10. He's only got the one top three finish in any stakes race this year, and it was third. So it's not stakes races that have got him in first place. Um, but he used the draft to take the lead. He even sold a 2-year-old that he bred. He also sold horses at the first draft. He's netted the second most through claims in the league, but he took advantage the most of anyone in the league in the prize money available in claims races. And I think he's just been the best at taking advantage of every little nuance that there is in the league. So he's in first. Another really good but imperfect season has been Alex. He's the only newcomer with an A grade horse, and that horse Checkmate has been phenomenal. Already a couple stakes wins. He left a 2-year-old draft in second place. The imperfect part of Alex's season is that he's missed 8 race days. And so through our first 17, that's almost half of the race days, over 47%, including 4 of the last 5 races. And since the draft, Nate's lead on Alex has grown by almost $200,000. And Nate has had a good several race days in there, but Alex has mostly just not participated and watched Nate's lead grow. And a fifth stable I'll highlight is Zach. He has won 25 races, which ties the record, and he won the biggest purse so far, more than those Triple Crown races, the Saudi Cup with Pernicious. Took home 437,000 there. On the flip side, he spent over $1 million in the first draft, and he never really climbed out of that hole. He also has the largest stable, and a huge stable equals huge costs. It's expensive every 2 weeks when the costs are assessed for Zach's stable in particular. All right, I was lucky enough to get second place right now for an interview. Kaylin, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Happy Breeders' Cup Day. Uh, Being in second place, your stable is the most likely of anyone to catch Nate. How do you like your chances?
Honestly, I don't. I feel like every time there's a Nate's Knowledge segment, I just realize that Nate is like 10 steps ahead of me and he understands this so much better and he knows so much more. And I'm still just picking horses based on their name. So I don't feel great about it. Because every time there's claims, I just read the names of the horses and then I'm like, oh, any good names that I need in my stable. And I think Nate's more advanced than that.
Well, we'll see. I'm not sure. Maybe he is. Um, all right. But we'll see if you can catch up that if you can make up that 63,000, you're in
Yeah.
it in the last race.
Yeah.
Um, Everyone's eyes will be on Luck of the Irish in the Classic. As I started to mention, all-time most prize money this year, tied for most career stakes race wins, all-time best in prize money per entry by a lot, and has never finished worse than second in any race. But he can't quite catch Nate by himself. Who else in your stable are you looking at today to have a big performance and give Luck of the Irish a chance to run for the league championship?
I feel like you've put a lot of pressure on Luck of the Irish, but this is a team sport. We are a team, our hot pink stable. So I think everyone needs to carry their weight. And so I'll tell you a little of my strategy.
Ooh.
Um, every horse D grade and up, except for one with a lot of fatigue, was entered into a race today. So if you're in the stable and you're D and up, you need to pull your weight today. If we want that good hay in the off season.
There you go. And with these stakes races, the entry fee is the same amount as sixth place. So if you just get fifth place, then you're making money. And some of these fifth place is 6 grand, and then that would shrink the amount that you need from 63 down to 57 just for a fifth place finish. So we'll see. Good luck today, Kaylin.
Thank you.
All right, we also got Nate. Nate, thanks for joining us. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, happy Breeders' Cup Day.
Yes, happy Breeders' Cup Day to you.
All right, so it looked to me like your 2-year-old draft strategy changed. You had one approach when it started, but a different approach as it progressed. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I was pretty much fully ready to tank, or at least was considering tanking, but then I saw the money that Brett and Kalen were willing to spend, and there's that old military adage, when your enemy is making a mistake, don't interrupt them.
Oh, that's great. All right. Well, Nate, you've been in first place on Breeders' Cup Day before. For you, how does today compare to last year's Breeders' Cup Day?
For the most part, I wasn't as nervous for most of the day. I think just because I already have last year's championship in the back pocket, but once it got about 30 minutes to race time, then it started the juice started again. So
All right.
feeling
Well,
feeling good.
all right. Well, you got 16 races worth of stress coming up.
That's right.
All right, so we talked about how we got here. Nate's going to tell us a little bit more about how we got here with Nate's knowledge.
All right, thank you, Chris. For the last Nate's knowledge of the season, I just wanted to do something simple and fun, and I was curious, what is the total distance traveled of all the horses in HRFL have run this year? So I added up all the furlongs for all of the horses that have run in each of the races this season up to this point, which totals 15,591 furlongs. Since there are 8 furlongs in a mile, 15,591 divided by 8 equals 1,948.875 miles. Now, how far would that get you? Well, it's roughly the distance between Gainesville, Florida, and Tucson, Arizona. So divided equally among all the horses that have run at least one race this year, which is 440, each horse would have to run about 4.43 miles or just under 35 furlongs. That's a lot of running. Chris, back to you.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. Nate's knowledge. Tucson. All right, let's see. All right, hey, let's talk about Zach's stable. He's got 51 horses in his stable. One of them is injured. The other 50 are all racing today. So the entry fees for Zach are over $213,000. And a little bit of an undercard thing to watch is the sibling rivalry. Nate holds, well, going into last race day, Nate held the record for most wins in a season with 25. Zach tied it. So Zach just needs one of 50 horses to win a race today to break that record. All right, here's a little look back at last year's race day 18 entry fees. It was just under 1.1 million. This year's is about the same, but who is spending has changed. There's, of course, Zach at the top with over 213 grand. And then you can see otherwise how it breaks down. Nate, Andrew, and Caitlin and Alex down there taking more conservative approaches. They're up near the top of the standings. But these owners that are spending bigger have a chance, to win more stakes races and more money in those races. All right, a farewell to our retiring 7-year-olds. Here they are. Then it includes 5 stakes winners, and there's some big names. Portugal the Fast and Pernicious are in the top 5 in career prize money. All 5 of them are in the top 14 all time in prize money. And Peterburg and Sapphire Surge are the only horses in history with 6 wins. They're both going for 7 today. All right, so we'll look at a couple races. There's 13 stakes races today. The total purses are over 3.7 million. The couple races that I wanted to preview are, of course, the Breeders' Cup Classic, which will finish off our season, and then the a 2-year-old race that I think is worth highlighting. All right, so first the Breeders' Cup Classic. There are 6 A-grade horses, which is, oh, let's do this. 20 horses, a completely full field. 6 A-grade horses, which is the most we've ever had in a race. 9 stakes winners are in the field. 3 7-year-olds will be ending their careers. No Nate. So Nate's got to try to finish this off before day 16 or hope for the right result, or in race 16, or hope for the right result in race 16. The second place, Sable Kalen's got an A-grade horse, Luck of the Irish, in here. The third place, Sable Alex has an A-grade horse, Checkmate, in there. And as I mentioned before, Charlie in fourth place has 3 horses. Last year, a D-grade horse won this race. This year, we've got 20 horses, but there's only 1 D-grade horse in the entire field. Everyone else is A, B, or C. 4 5-time winners, 4 with career prize money over $1 million. Super stacked field. All right, and the other race is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Colt race. I'm going to highlight the 2 A-grade horses in there. So you'll recall that, what did I just say? Brett's A-grade horse suffered an injury in their only other race, finished last. He's back today. He and Mario Time, the other A-grade horse, have never faced off, so we're kicking off probably a lifelong rivalry tonight. They're facing for the first time. And then many of these horses will be in next year's Triple Crown race. So it's a little bit of a Kentucky Derby preview. And then wanted to highlight Mandelbaum Jr. down in the 16 gate, his career undefeated. All right, Jimmy, dark horse. Dark horse. I think you might have hit the button, but we got a dark horse detective double.
Yeah, I hit the button. That's what it was.
All right, well, welcome back.
Well, I was laughing too much. So, um, all right. As you may remember last year, uh, I was able to get two picks on the last day here. Once again, I'm going to do that and hopefully get a win this time. It's been a while. All right. So I went with the last two races. Of course, our penultimate race, race 15, the Breeders' Cup Turf. I'm going with Runt to win. D-grade horse, familiar name, of course. 4 career wins, including stakes races. Like I said, just a D-grade horse, but a 4-year-old female owned by Stefan, and not really many notes. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling Runt
Feeling
in
right. All right.
race 15. And my other dark horse, it's also a feeling. But as Chris mentioned, we have one D-grade horse in the final race. It is OIC, one of the 50 horses today, entered by Zach, going with the show. Obviously, a
Right.
win. That's pretty insane with ABC. So just gonna go with the show. But like I said, only D grade horse in the field, 3-year-old male, owned by Zach. So it's Runt to win the Breeders' Cup Turf and OIC to show in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Back to you, Chris.
All right, looking forward to it. And that's definitely a long shot. Probably the least likely horse in the field to show. But
Indeed.
it's exciting. We'll see. All right. Hey, thanks everyone for participating. I like doing this, and I only get to because you guys play along. Big thanks. You guys are the best. All right, so we can talk about races now.
Oh boy.
All right, race number 1.
All right, let's get it going here. Just a reminder, it is raining here at beautiful Lewis Downs in Gainesville. The swamp living up to its name. And we'll get going here with race number 1 and a claiming race to start. And see, we've got 12 horses ready to go. Let you guys carry on with some notes.
Yep, I feel like a broken record, but it's Olong Johnson again. 3 wins in a row, has 4 this season, and also our last race of the day for Stalwart Persuader, 7 years old. So those are kind of the two that I'm looking at.
All right, yeah, tip of the cap to Stalwart Persuader. What stuck out to me is this is a sibling rivalry race and Walt, but it's Zach and Nate have 8 of the horses, and then Walt stuck 3 in there. And there's that little undercard thing we're watching to see if Zach can catch Nate in the win totals. Well, here we go. $5,000 is the price for one of these horses.
All
Oh,
righty.
wait, we're gonna be able to update the standings live.
Oh, nice.
So here's with the entry fees assessed. You can see Zach slipped down there below Walt, and we'll be able to update this after every race.
Awesome. All right, let's head out to the turf for our first race of the day. And they're off. Olong Johnson, Sudden Burst, and the Haunt. First group early, Rise to Vote Sir up there as well, followed by Central Bank, Face the Facts, Mediocre Samaritan. Rise to Vote Sir now taking the lead, and Olong Johnson not far behind. Mediocre Samaritan making their way up into third, but it's Rise to Vote Sir with the lead past the halfway point. Stalwart Persuader now up there. Walt's 1-2. We've got Zach 3-4. Now Nate's Mediocre Samaritan up into third. But Walt, 1-2 right now. Stalwart Persuader down the stretch, pulling away from the field. Rise to Vote Sir trying to hold on to second, and it looks like they will. Walt with a 1-2 finish in the first race. Make it, almost 1-2-3. Buttons and zips in that. Edges, no fanfare for third. Face the Facts in fifth. Mediocre Samaritan sixth. And then it's Swanson, Olong Johnson, Sudden Burst, The Haunt, Dignified, and Central Bank, the loser, way down in last. All right. Congrats again to Walt, Stalwart Persuader, Rise to Vote Sir, no fanfare, 1, 2, and 4 in the first race.
Yeah, congrats, Walton. How about that? The 7-year-old in their last race.
Awesome.
All right, there were
Nicely
no
done.
there were no claims,
Oh
uh,
wow.
even at the $5,000 price. So we'll update the standings. That was our smallest purse of the day, so not big changes. Good race for Walt, though. All right.
All right, let's get to race number 2 of 16 today. And our second claim race of the day, 40,000. We'll get you one of these horses. And we've got a very colorful field here, 14 horses. What do you see, guys?
Even though it's a claiming race, it's still a pretty good field. There are 4 horses with 2 wins this year. Updog, Play Make Believe, Criminy Stakes, and You've Been Warned. So still a good field despite the claims race.
Yeah, and 4 horses with over 100 grand in prize money, a bunch of multi-time winners, and a D grade horse there's one of those. That's Oh Showtime for Walt.
All right, definitely keeping an eye on Oh Showtime. Got the quad laser and ampersand as well as E-grade horses here in this race. All right, back out to the turf. Last horses in the gate, and they're off. Frush and Iola's Ibar setting the pace early. Preeminence there as well. Ampersand now up there with Frush and the quad laser taking the lead early. Down the back stretch, Frush now up in the lead. Ampersand there as well. And halfway through, it's Ampersand and Frush leading the field. Updog now making their way up at the third. All I Could Afford in fourth. Eul's Ibar, Oh Showtime making a run. But Ampersand and Updog neck and neck as they come around the turn. Frush trying to keep pace. Eola's Ibar as well. But Updog now pulling away. Frush keeping pace and catching Updog, passing him. Forget about it. Passes everybody and wins the race for Nate. What the hell just happened? Frush in second, Criminy sixth in third, followed by Oh Showtime, Updog, You've Been Warned, the Quad Laser, Ampersand, Arbitrary Lines, Eola Zybar, All I Could Afford, Play Bake Believe, Preeminence, and Coach Cleaver, the trailer. Pretty sure we're going to have a replay on that because, like I said,
Sure.
didn't see what happened there. Forget about it, though. Another win for Nate.
Here we are.
Yeah, don't forget about this one.
Yeah.
Hey, and every dollar counts. That's big for Nate. So you got to forget about it down towards the middle of the field at this point. Falls even further back, starts to charge, and really closes strong.
Yeah, unbelievable finish there.
Here we go. Win for Nate.
Wasn't even close there. Just jumped in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Nicely done. All right, let's any claims.
Oh, yes. Let's
Ooh.
do that before we do this. Oh Showtime was claimed by Brett.
Ooh. All
So
right.
D grade horse Oh Showtime will head to Brett's stable for the offseason and next year. All right. And that will be reflected when we update the standings here. Also, notice in that column L is the size of the gap between Nate and Kalen. If Kalen can keep it within 504 for that last race, then lucky the Irish could win it. It's up to 601 now with Nate's win. Because she's just
Still lots of racing left though.
Yeah. And Brett with the purchase falls down to 11th there. But all right, it's time for some stakes races, Jimmy.
All right, let's get it going here. Our first stakes race of the day, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. So it'll be a short one, just 6 furlongs on the turf. And as you recall, it is rainy today. We're going to get that rainy turf and all 2-year-olds, of course, in the juvenile races. We've got 9 here, 2 of mine that I am obviously Lucy level excited for. And what else? What else you guys seeing here?
Well, I will forever know this race as the No Bagel, No Bagel Stakes because No Bagel won last year.
Ooh.
But I'm looking at Goose Knuckle, first and second place in their last 2. Bit of a long shot, but you know what? I'm not going to put anything past them.
All right. How about this? No, hey, No Bagel winning this last year was huge. I don't know that you would have got the championship without it. It would have been close.
Hmm.
I watched that episode of Seinfeld today. Just I had to.
That,
All right. So, but I want to highlight is that I'll remind you, we're going to claim a top breeder award uh, today, and there are 4 horses in this race that can contribute to that. Crackabone, Nay Anastasio, The Collector, and Lucy Level Excited. So I'm watching those horses.
All right. Sounds good. Nate with the maybe the darkest dark horse I've ever seen, Goose Knuckle, the I grade. But you never know. We'll see.
All right.
Back out to the Turf Breeders' Cup, Juvenile Turf Sprint. And they're off. Lucy Level Excited, jumping out to an early lead, followed by Instrucciones, the Collector there in third, Thunder Nugget, trying to make their way up, as well as Nay Anastasio. But Lucy Level Excited, setting the pace early. Instrucciones now catching and passing Lucy Level Excited as we hit the halfway point. The Collector there in third. Counterpoint now making their way up to the top group. Thunder Nugget trying to keep pace. Cloud Chaser, Goose Knuckle, and Crackabone, the chasers. But Lucy Level Excited with Instrucciones, along with Counterpoint, the Collector, Nay Anastasio. Huge group here as we're down the stretch. The Collector's trying to pull away. Nay Anastasio's right there, but it's the Collector with the win. Nay Anastasio in second for Andrew. And as you can hear, I'm Lucy Level Excited for the 1-3 finish. In my stable, Instrucciones there in fourth, followed by Counterpoint, Thunder Nugget, Cloud Chaser, Goose Knuckle, and Crackabone. Let's go, boys.
All right. Hey, congrats, Jimmy. And the
Ow.
Collector. So Andrew is the top breeder in the lead in that category coming into today. I'm not going to be able to update the top breeder standings as we go. But Andrew got second place here, but the first and third place finish by Jimmy, I can tell you, it was enough for Jimmy to take the lead in the top breeder category.
Hey.
And we'll, I'll let you know who wins at the end of these 4 more races. We'll be able to say. All right, here's the Collector.
Nice. There he is. Awesome.
All right.
Very cool. All right.
Update the
Plenty of stakes races left here. Let's go to race number 4. And staying with the juveniles, of course. Females only, though. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies race, 8.5 furlongs. And we've got 11 horses ready to go. What do you see, fellas?
I like Big Sky here, but also Barcelona with their 2 second place finishes. Maybe they can get up and take a win here.
To me, this race is about for the first time we have race with horses that Kaylin owns. She needs to have a big day to catch Nate. She's the most likely to do it. So As a 6 and Pride of Scotland are her horses, and they're definitely horses to watch. Volcanic Eruption, for the same reason for Alex, is a horse to watch.
All right. We are set going out to the muddy dirt here at Lewis Downs. As you can see, and they're off. Isle of Scotland, Spaceship with Rims, and Don't Tell Judy setting the pace early as a 6 there as well, with Barcelona on a technicality. Followed by 621's Tiny Dancer, Fashionista, Big Sky, Mumbo Jumbo, and Volcanic Eruption, the trailer. But it's as a 6 taking the lead halfway through. Don't Tell Judy not far behind. Spaceship with Rims there as well, and Don't Tell Judy taking the lead. Fashionista now up there and takes the lead. We're coming around the turn. Fashionista flying around that turn. Don't Tell Judy as a 6. Pride of Scotland, Barcelona trying to keep pace as a 6, charging in second. But it's going to be Fashionista with a huge win for Brett. It's going to be close for second, and Big Sky makes a late run for Johnny, finishes second. Don't Tell Judy for Walt ends up in third, followed by As a 6 and Pride of Scotland for Kaylin at 4 and 5. Barcelona there in 6th for Mark, and then it's Spaceship with Rims, 621's Tiny Dancer, Mumbo Jumbo on a technicality, and Volcano Eruption. Fashionista for Brett getting the win.
Congrats, Brett, and yeah, pretty convincing. Here's Fashionista.
Ooh.
Looks like she could do some fashion, doesn't it?
Indeed.
All right.
Nice. All right. Good race there.
Congrats, Brett. Let's
Kaylin got a little money there being in 4th and 5th.
4th and 5th, yep. Let's see. So the gap's 601. Now it's 585.
All right. We're getting the pressure is building. As we heard in the pregame, pressure's building. the fun is as well. So let's go on to our next race, females only as well. Breeders' Cup Juvenile fillies on the turf, 8 furlongs. And of course, same as last race, 2-year-old females. And we've got a stacked lineup here, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at Saboteur 432, the only horse with a win in this group. But there's also, like last race, there's 3 making their debut in a stakes race. So good luck to them.
11 of these 15 horses are owner bred. So that's a lot of impact that can be made on the top breeder award, but it's Executrix. Oh, and Jimmy, it's XX. Executrix, Tactical Days, Freedom Sound, Margot Tenenbaum, Ego Tactics, Cootie Queen, Surprise Number 2, Captain Deadpool, Bartlett's Begonias, Frostbite, and Toe Beans are all owner bred. And so it's exciting to have all of 11 of them in here.
Very exciting. Very exciting to say all of them as well. I love it. All right, let's get back out to the turf. And last horse in the gate. And they're off. Saboteur 84032 out early, followed by Cootie Queen. Frostbite there as well. Freedom Sound up into that top group. And there's Execution. I don't even know how much I'm going to try that, but Tactical Days in the lead now. Frostbite taking it halfway through with that other horse in second. Cootie Queen now taking the lead. Don't get involved there. They're just switching all over the place. But Cootie Queen, Saboteur 8432, setting the pace as they come around the turn. Down the stretch they come. Margot Tenenbaum now taking the lead and trying to pull away. Saboteur 84032 not far behind. Don't get involved. It's getting very involved and gets the win. Sneaks in there for Charlie. The victory here. Saboteur 84032 up there a lot, but ends up in second for Zach. Frostbite in third for Nate, followed by Toe Beans for Walt. Margot Tenenbaum for Alex, I believe there. And then Captain Deadpool for Zach, rounding out the money. Then it's the horse the horse with no name. Followed by Tactical Days, Freedom Sound, I Go Tactics, Cootie Queen, House Money, Millennial 1999, Bartlett's Begonias, and Surprise Number 2. How about it, guys? Nice job, Charlie.
Congrats, Charlie. And really close.
By Frostbite.
Executrix. Actually, I should have done that before the race.
Yeah, really close, strong here. Don't get involved.
Unbelievable. Woo.
Here's Don't Get Involved.
Nice.
Here we go. Congrats to Charlie again. Let's update the standings. He's in fourth. That's a pretty big prize. Probably not enough to move from fourth, but there you have it.
Making some noise.
Yeah, the gap's now back up to 602. And we'll head to race number 6.
All right. And personal note there, I am about $8,000 behind Andrew there in those standings, 5th and 6th.
That's right. Very close.
Fighting hard. So, all right. Here we go. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile Colts. Taking a look at here in race number 6. And 8.5 furlongs on the dirt. 16 horses ready to go, including a few A-grade horses. Our first race with the A-grades. What did you see, guys?
I don't know much other than I'm excited to see what did I just say, return from injury. So just to see what they're fully capable of here.
Yeah, his debut kind of got stolen from him. But the rivalry between him and Mario Time's what I'm looking at. And then the only B-grade horse in the field is Kalen's, Mandelbaum Jr., so maybe an opportunity for her to get a big chunk here.
For sure. All right. Heading out to the mud here in Gainesville. Breeders' Cup Juvenile Colts race. And they're off. What did I just say? Jumping out of the gate along with Mutter. Very name appropriate. Prancer size there as well in the top group as we're getting going here. Apple Baltimore now up into the top group. Civic Duty now as well. Prancer size leading those. Civic Duty taking the lead past the halfway point. Pegasus 2011 there as well in that top group. Prancer Size keeping pace. What did I just say? Keeping pace as well. But Civic Duty trying to pull away around the turn, down the stretch. Civic Duty, prognosis negative now in second. What did I just say? Making a late run, taking the lead from Civic Duty and winning the race for Brett. What a race for what did I just say? Civic Duty there for Charlie getting second. Mandelbaum Jr. in third for Kalen. Prancer Size fourth for Alex. Mario Time fifth for Johnny. And prognosis negative in sixth for Christian, rounding out the money, followed by Sweet as Honey, Mutter, Apicore Baltimore, Nashville and T, Pegasus 2011, The Escher House, Papernick, Hey Wise Guy, Trackstar, and what have you. Very appropriate last horse name there. But congrats to Brett on second win of the day.
Yeah, congrats, Brett. Second stakes win of the day. So we'll introduce you to another one here. This is What Did I Just Say? Whose career finishes include last place and first place. As an A-grade horse, maybe we'll need to get used to this picture.
That's a really cool picture, by the way.
Big, and then second, third, and fourth place finished. In the standings, finished in second, third, and fourth.
Wow.
So, that's meaningful.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's
check the standings.
That's enough to get Brett past Zach, and the gap between first and second down to 584.
All right.
All right.
Pressure's still on here. Not even halfway through our last day of the season. Let's go on to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Colts turf race. Just 8 furlongs on the turf and just 7 entries here. 2 D grade Cadillac Zach and Chaos Dimension for Christian. What else you guys looking for here?
The thing that stood out to me is that this group has no top 3 finishes, so it's going to be a big day for 3 of them getting that first top 3, especially in a stakes race.
Yeah, the purse 190 grand. So sometimes it just makes sense to put your horses in an unpopular race. It helps your chances. The 2 favorites are both in Christian's stable as D grade horses. This is the last race of the year for 2-year-olds. Some owner-bred ones include Genghis Khan Man and Savvy Play 2. Those are the only owner-bred horses in the race. But this is going to be it for the 2-year-olds.
All right. Last race, as Chris said, for the 2-year-olds. 7 horses there. That means all but one will be in the money. And we'll get the last one in the gate here out on the turf. And they're off. Chaos Dimension, Gizmo Ghoul, Genghis Khanman up there in the top group, Gene P and GNP as well, Cadillac Zach, and One Trick at Speed, Savvy Play 2 rounding out the field. But Chaos Dimension, Genghis Khanman up there in the front at the halfway point, GP and GNP there as well with Cadillac Zach. Nobody pulling away yet. Chaos Dimension now taking the lead as they're coming around the turn, trying to pull away here. Cadillac Zach making a run as well. Christian's got the 1-2 right now as they come down the stretch. Chaos Dimension, Cadillac Zach back and forth. Genghis Khanman trying to make a run for Zach. GNP and GNP, One Trick at Speed as well. But it's Cadillac Zach. Chaos Dimension, nose to nose, finishes 1-2. Cadillac Zach with the win. Christian getting 1-2 here in the last 2-year-old race. GNP and GNP in third, followed by Genghis Khanman, Savvy Play 2, and One Trick at Speed. All owned horses in the money. The one unowned horse, Gizmogul, in last place. Congrats to Christian, though. Big win, 1 and 2.
Yeah, first and second, congrats, Christian. And we're watching the race at the top for number 1, but the race to get in the top 6 also matters, and Christian's in 7th. We'll introduce you here to Cadillac Zach.
Yeah.
Winner of the race.
Very nice.
Spelled differently than our other Zach, so it's not the same.
Not that Zach.
Not that Zach. All right, race 7. So then here's Christian is in 7th. All right, there you go. And we're prepared to crown the top breeder.
Oh, here we go.
And it's Jimmy.
Hey.
So it will be a blue ribbon, and I don't have it ready yet, but once I do, I'll post it in the Slack and everyone will see it.
Rigged.
Yeah. Hey, congrats, Jimmy, and that's $11. That's going to be $11 prize too.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you to my wonderful 2-year-olds getting the job done. And yeah, thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
All right. All right. Let's crown a whole league champion now.
Yes,
Let's
please.
do it. All right, on to race number 8, our maiden race of today, full field. And maiden, of course, meaning none of these horses have a win in their career. So one of them will win their first race. And as I said, loaded field here. What do you see, guys?
I'm looking at Spencer's Airplane here, second in the Lewis Downs female turf, and also has 2 places on this surface and distance. So I think they can get this one for Zach.
Oh yeah, how about that? And a D grade horse. I really like this race. I did this last year too, where it's only open, the 2-year-olds haven't raced long enough, but 3 to 7, maiden race. If you've won a race, you got to enter a stakes race or the claims races. In my head, I call this the last chance allowance. So
Nice.
we'll see who wins in their last chance on the year.
All right, back out to the turf. Running wet, of course, here on this rainy day at Lewis Downs. And we'll get the last horse in the gate and they're off. Jeffersonian, Spencer's Airplane, Anybody But Gary, Roulette, all setting the pace early. And Gladiator's Best making their way up there. Snafu taking the lead. And Jeffersonian Roulette keeping pace in that top group. Hey Pendelhurst, 1.21 gigawatts. Trying to keep pace. Halfway point Jeffersonian in the lead. 1.21 gigawatts now passing him. Snafu right there. Jeffersonian Roulette. Rest of the field trying to keep up, but Snafu, Jeffersonian running it so far. Quelas Tu Nombre now up into the top group along with Spencer's Airplane, who takes the lead for Zach. Spencer's Airplane coming around the turn in the lead. Snafu takes it away, and Snafu pulling away. Results May Vary is right there as well, making a late charge, but it looks like Snafu holds off Spencer's Airplane at the line. Stefan with the win. Spencer's Airplane for Zach in second, followed by Mademoiselle for Walt. Grunka Lunka for Alex. Hey Pendelhurst for Stefan, and results may vary there for Christian. A last in the money, followed by it's 1.21 gigawatts, Gladiator's Best, Moonbeam, Jeffersonian, Gluten Intolerance, Quality Number, Rig Bone, Chocolate Mercury, Roulette, Inventory Stickler, Rickety Cricket, Anybody But Gary, Fleetwood Fire Miles, and Blue Shell, ironically, finishing in last place. But it's Stefan with the win.
Yeah, congrats, Stefan and Snafu, winning in the last chance allowance.
Nicely done.
And
Stefan taking 1 and 5th there in the money.
What was that, Nate?
Oh, and it's their last race too. So that's 2 horses winning in their last race today.
Fantastic. That's really their last chance allowance for Snafu. Of course, as an allowance race, there's no photo, but big congrats to Stefan and Snafu.
Awesome. Great race there. Race number 8. We are halfway through our day here at the Breeders' Cup World Championships in beautiful Gainesville.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Stefan moved past Mark with that. All right.
Nice. All right. All right. Let's go out to the dirt. We're going to the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile here. And just 1 horse short of a full field. And yeah, this might be a close one. Lots of D's and lots of E's. What do you see, guys?
Yeah, a lot of good race here. La Rambla finished second last year. Torrance Downpour fifth. CPAC and Trade Table has 3 top 5s in stakes races, so this will be good.
All right. I guess I'll just mention, I think we'd be remiss to not mention that there is 1 C grade horse, and that's Slick as a Whistle, way down in the 19th gate.
Nice. All right. Heading out to the muddy dirt track here at Lewis Downs. And they're off. Chips and Medallions jumping out of the gate early. Fever Pitch, Mastermind, La Rambla in the group right behind, along with Slick as a Whistle. But Chips and Medallions and Fever Pitch now taking the lead as they come towards the halfway point. It's Chips and Medallions, Fever Pitch, and Mastermind in that top group. Albie now making their way up into the group. We've got a top 4. Very defined here as they come around the turn. I Never Lechuga trying to get up there, but it's Chips and Medallions pulling away from the field. More than a 2 horse length lead as we approach the finish. Fever Pitch, Mastermind, Ferocity Engine, Seatback and Tray Table, all right there for second. Chips and Medallion dominating for Charlie, though. And Slick as a Whistle ends up getting second for Mark. Albie for Nate in third. And then it's Pathfinder for Alex, La Rambla for Zach, and Seatback and Tray Table for Kalen, rounding out the money. And it's Off to Neverland, Fever Pitch, Mastermind, Ferocity Engine, I Never Lechuga, Torrential Downpour, Try Again, Conundrum, Eve, Circle Gets the Square, Ichabod, Berserk, and Factoid. Congrats to Charlie, another win today.
All right, yeah, congrats, Charlie, another stakes win. And guys, a gray thoroughbred is super rare. We've talked a lot about Yeti's Abyss when I assigned randomly colors to all the horses, and the one white horse ended up being named Yeti's Abyss. In that group, there was also only one gray horse, and it was Chips and Medallions, and they're introduced here. Chips and Medallions.
Nice.
Long time in Brett's stable, for a long time race for Brett. But winning for Charlie, and congrats again, Charlie.
Nicely done. And Andrew, I totally agree. One horse short of a full field needs to be a saying.
Dang.
Great.
He said, yeah.
All right.
Andrew
Updated
said,
standings.
for someone that's a little crazy.
Yeah.
All right, yep, there you go. Standings updated. Charlie's up over 1 million now. The gap between first and second is almost 600 grand. And yeah, between fifth and sixth remains real close there, less than 8,000.
All right. Pressure's still on here as we continue here at Lewis Downs. Let's go to race number 10. $200,000 purse, 10 furlongs on the turf. It's the Breeders' Cup filly and mare. Mare, right? Turf?
Yes.
Nah,
Yes.
All right. Females only in this one. 16 horse field. And yeah, some good ones here. What do you see, guys?
I'm looking at She Rode Sassy. Won the 3-year-old Lewis Downs female turf last year, but hasn't had any top tens since. So I'm looking for a rebound from She Rode Sassy.
All right. How about we got Magical Crinkle Ear here is a 4-time winner.
Ooh, yeah.
All
All right. Let's head out to the turf. And they're off. She Rode Sassy out early there with Infinite Wisdom, Folklore as well, Work Burnout, part of that top group as they come around the first turn. Infinite Wisdom, Work Burnout now taking the lead, half length over the field. Banjo, Mount Timpanogos up there as well. Situationship, Disnelodian going back and forth. No thanks, Diplomat, but the top two pretty consistent. Infinite Wisdom and Work Burnout setting the tone. Disnelodian now up into the field past the halfway point. She Rode Sassy now in first, and it's going back and forth. Get Your Comeuppance now, taking the lead as they come down the stretch. Situationship and Folklore right there as well. Work Burnout trying to make a run, but it's Folklore now in the lead, pulling away, and Folklore gets the win for Kalen. Miso Soup and Gator Knight 2 and 3 for Andrew, and then it's Infinite Wisdom for Mark in fourth. Situationship for Alex in fifth, and Disnelodian gets sixth for Nate, rounding out the money, followed by Magical Crinkle Ear, Get Your Comeuppance, She Rode Sassy, Your Nightmare, Honeymoon's Over, No Thanks Diplomat, Let's Play 2, Work Burnout, Banjo, and Mount Timpanogos. Unfortunately there for Zach, those last three. But Folklore and Kalen keeping it interesting here, keeping the pressure on.
It's chaotic in here. Kalen won the race, and she dropped an enormous drink, and it was loud. But yeah, congrats, Kalen, and guys, this is huge for the standings. Luck of the Irish can't do it by themselves. Folklore with the win. That's big. Let's update the standings, then we'll look at the picture.
There you go, Andrew. It's chaotic in there.
Oh, chaotic. All right. Now remember, Luck of the Irish can win 504,000 in the last race. The gap is
Oh my God.
505,950.
I'm sweaty.
It's so big. Kaylin says she's sweaty. Hey, that's a huge race. All right, we've only got 6 left, and Folklore seen here does something big. All right, Jimmy, I think you hit the button. Next up, race.
I think I hit the button too.
Okay, here we go. Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint is next, Jimmy.
Pressure is rising here at Lewis Downs as we head to the next race. We've got 11 here. Breeders' Cup, Filly and Mare Sprint. This one, the females. And take it away, boys. What are you seeing?
Just looking at I actually was surprised that Sapphire Surge won this last year, and I didn't see them in any of the races unless I'm mistaken. So that was kind of a surprise for me.
Hmm. Well, let's see. I guess we'll have to see if Sapphire Surge is in there. In the pregame, I said that they were, but maybe I missed something.
Yeah, I'm assuming that I missed them because it's like, oh, that's weird.
All right. Well, we got I Know You Are, But What Am I is a 2-grade favorite over the next horse, and that's Walt Stable down in the 11th gate. And Take a Chill Pill has not won $1 yet, but we'll see. And then maybe we should have been highlighting this more as we've gone along. But 7-year-olds in their last race include a Dull Roar and Nate's Winter Wonderland.
Nice. All right. Let's head out to the muddy dirt track here at Lewis Downs, Breeders' Cup, Filly and Mare Sprint, and they're off. I Know You Are, But What Am I? Setting the pace early. Jealous Lover, Take a Chill Pill, not far behind, along with On the Prowl and Bamboozler. But it's I Know You Are, But What Am I? Setting the pace early. On the prowl there, a little Stitious now up into second. As we hit the halfway point, a little Stitious takes the lead. Bamboozler there now, taking the lead back. And we've got a tight group here as we come around the turn. Take a Chill Pill. I Know You Are, But What Am I? Switching back and forth. Bamboozler, a little Stitious. Jealous Lover, also right there. I Know You Are, But What Am I? Trying to hold off the field, though. As they come to the finish, it's I Know You Are, But What Am I? Getting the win for Walt. Take a Chill Pill and Bamboozler. Very close. Bamboozler gets second for Stefan. Take a Chill Pill in third for Zach. And then it's On the Prowl in fourth for Alex. Jealous Lover in fifth for Christian. And it's good to see you again in sixth for Charlie. Rounding out the field, a little Stitious television static. That's how they get you. Winter Wonderland. And unfortunately, we do have an injured horse, a Dull Roar, not able to finish. And Chris will update us on that. But congrats to Walt. I Know You Are, But What Am I?
All right, yes, few things to cover. So first of all, this was a Dull Roar's last race of their career anyway, as a 7-year-old. So how about that? It would have been a career-ending injury. Kind of no harm
Wow.
in foul, though. They can breed. They're an unowned horse, so I would be the one to do it. But that's how a Dull Roar was going to be done anyway. Congrats to Walt with I Know You Are, But What Am I? And they've won a stakes race before, so you've already met them. Here they are again. And then, of course, of note is Nate had 2 horses in this one, but neither of them finished in the top 6. So no
Keep
blood,
reminding me.
no blood in the standings.
All right.
There you go.
Pressure still remains high. And we've got
5 races left.
5 races left. All right. 5 races. And we'll take a look here at the Breeders' Cup Mile. This one on the turf. Another $200,000 purse and a full field here of high quality horses. What are you looking at, guys? What do you think?
So other than the Breeders' Cup Classic, this one has the most previous stakes winners with 6. So pretty
Wow.
stacked field in this one.
Ooh. Let's see. Who we got for 7-year-olds? We don't say that. B grade horse. There's another B grade horse, Distracted. Those are 2 of the most prolific dads, too. I noticed that Prospectus now holds the record by themselves for most races. This is going to be their 19th career race. And of course, an old fan favorite and the only horse there over $1 million. We got Lemke in this one out of the 19 post position.
All right. Yes. Star-studded field here in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Let's head out to that wet turf. Get the last horse in the gate, and they're off. Jazz, Scam Likely, and Spothead, the early lead for this huge field. We used to stomp up there as well, but Spothead setting the pace early. Scam Likely now taking the lead as they come up on the halfway point. Scam Likely, big lead. Spothead, we used to stomp his boy Elroy, Cafe La Food in a group behind, but Scam Likely trying to run away with this race, and we don't say that. Cafe La Food, Spothead, all trying to keep pace, but it's Scam Likely's race to lose as they come down the stretch. Huge lead for Scam Likely and Charlie. Dance Cars Full making a late run along with his boy Elroy and Red Scamper, but Scam Likely dominates this race. Another win for Charlie today. Red Scamper in second for Zach. We don't say that for Stefan in third. In and Outlaw for Christian in fourth. Dance Cards Full for Nate in fifth. And my boy Jazz in sixth, finished rounding out the money. And it was Distracted, Paid Actor, his boy Elroy, Cafe La Food, Spothead, Lemke, Evergreen Terrace, Jumbo Cheesebed, Crucial Thanks, Usurper, Freudian Slippery, Used to Stomp Prospectus, and Nowadays. But big win for Charlie, and Nate sneaking in the money there in fifth.
Yeah. Every dollar counts for Nate, and big congrats to Charlie. He's having a good day. All right.
I think that's win number 3 on the day for Charlie, if I'm remembering that right.
And all stakes races. Here is Scam Likely. Doesn't he look suspicious?
Very sus.
All right. So that fifth place is going to matter a little bit in the standings here. Let's see how much. The gap is now 511,950 with 4 races to go.
Ooh. Zach there with a very small lead over Brett, 9 and 10. Not in the money, but still noteworthy.
Oh, yeah, this is where we highlight this.
There you go, Alex and Charlie. Woo!
Charlie's now just about $1,000 out of third place. He's having a day.
Absolutely. All right, pressure is building. We've got, see that right? Four races left. 4 races left. Let's go with the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint here. 12 horses. Zach's got 4 of them, and going to be a short one here. 6 furlongs on the turf, $190,000 purse. And what do you see, guys? Obviously, no bagel there in the 10 gate.
Yeah, 2 stakes winners, no bagel, and Name of Your First Pet. Also, Renegade Chop finished second in this race last year to Razzmatazz. We'll see how they can do.
All right, a couple of things I'll highlight is that Zach has put a J grade and a K grade horse in this one. So they're super long shots. They're hoping really for a lot of luck. And makes if they perform as expected, the graphic is going to be, I mean, they should lose by a lot, but we'll see what happens. And then the other thing is these last 4 races. Last year, Casey was not anywhere near the top 6, and then he won race 13 and 14. And then he finished, he didn't win the last race, but he finished up near the top enough to win some money. And so just winning 13, 14 and having a decent finish in 16, he flew up into the money. I think he finished 5th. So we can still see movement with just these 4 races left.
Absolutely. All right. Let's get out to the turf for our Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, and they're off. Renegade Chop, Mr. President, and Shot Out of a Cannon, your leading group early. Trivia Night making their way up to the top and taking the lead. Name of Your First Pet there as well. No bagel there in third. Chairman of the board, Shot Out of a Cannon. A big front group here as we hit the halfway point. Renegade Chop, Name of Your First Pet, switching the lead. Name of Your First Pet now with a half-length lead. Chairman of the board trying to catch Trivia Night there as well. Renegade Chop, we've got a 4-horse race as we come down the stretch. Renegade Chop trying to catch up with Name of Your First Pet. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Maybe Trivia Night can do it. They do not. Name of Your First Pet wins by a nose for Alex. Trivia Night in second for Walt. Renegade Chop for me there in third. And Chairman of the board for Christian in fourth. Mr. President for Zach in fifth. And No Bagel finishes just in the money there for Nate. Then it was Shot Out of a Cannon, Cabra Khan, New Alliance, Moving Picture Show, goes without saying. And Let's Not Say We Did, fulfilling their grades down at the bottom. But name her your first pet for Alex getting the win.
Yeah, congrats, Alex. We've focused a lot on the gap between first and second, but again, Alex has been third, and he almost just fell out of fourth with Charlie catching him. So this is big for Alex. And there's
Huge.
only, the few races left to give themselves a chance in this last race. As Nate mentioned, name of your first pet has won before, the Kentucky Oaks this year. And here she is again. And Jimmy said she won by a nose. Must have been that nose we can't see there.
That's the one. Yep.
All right. So recall how close Charlie got here, but the win for Alex is big. Nate adds about $4,000 over his lead. So again, 504,000 is what the gap that can be closed in the last race by Kalen and Alex. Charlie could close the gap larger than that with 3 horses in the last race.
All right. As we've been saying all day, pressure continues to build. Just 3 races left to try and get into the standings, into the money, get as much money as you can. We're going to do the Breeders' Cup Sprint here out on the dirt, just 6 furlongs, males only. And as you can see, we've got 12 horses ready to go. And what are you seeing, fellas?
Macamaroni and Cheese is the only stakes winner in this field, but the Standard Bearer got second last year to Walt Stradivarius in this race. So big one here.
With 3 races left, I am concerned with who's winning the league. So Nate's got Macaroni and Cheese. Kalen doesn't have any, Alex doesn't have any, and Charlie doesn't have any. So Macaroni and Cheese is the race to watch from my perspective, or the horse to watch from my perspective.
All right. Sounds good. Let's head out to the mud here in the swamp, the Breeders' Cup Sprint. It's a quick one. Here we go. Element OP, and they are all pipes. Jumping out of the gate early. Gadsden Tide uphill both ways now, taking the lead. Look at him up in the top group as well and taking the lead now. As they come down the backstretch, uphill both ways. Look at him. They're all pipes in that top group. Gadsden Tide, Supply and Demand, Standard Bearer, trying to make their way up there, but uphill both ways. Taking a big lead. Look at him. Reeled him in real quick, and look at him in the lead. Half length over the field, uphill both ways right there. And the rest of the field might be too far behind. They're all pipes making a late run. Supply and Demand as well. Look at him trying to hold off everybody. They're all pipes right there, but look at him. Gets the win for Christian. They're all pipes in second for Stefan. Uphill both ways for me in third, and then it's Element OP and Supply and Demand for Walt, 4th and 5th. Standard Bearer for Christian in 6th. As Chris mentioned, Macamaroni and Cheese, Nate's horse, finishes just out of the money, followed by ABC Order, Rusty's Revenge, Gunslinger, Gadsden Tide, and Off Color. So no progress there for Nate in that race, a chance to build the lead, but no dice. Look at him.
Yeah. All right. Congrats, Christian. And hey, look at him. Zoomed in up close, so you have to.
Handsome boy.
Good looking horse there, Christian. Congrats to you. And remember, he's fighting to get up in the top 6 still.
It's just like his dad.
Indeed.
All right, let's update the standings here. There you go. All right, 515,750. We got 2 races left. I'm going to take it from here for just a sec. All right, race 15 is what's next. So since Kalen's only got the 1 horse in race 16, and she's not within 504, she's got to win some money in race 15. Winning the Classic won't do it. I've done the math. She needs to get 4th or better. The horse that she's got in this race is Wind Up Delivery. 19 horses in the field. If Wind Up Delivery finishes in the top 4, if we ignore what Nate's horse Checks in the Mail does, then Kalen can win. Luck of the Irish will race for a championship. If we ignore Nate's horse, if Wind Up Delivery can finish in the top 4. And then again, if Wind Up Delivery can do it, I think if you had to pick a favorite in the Breeders' Cup Classic, you'd pick Luck of the Irish. All-time most prize money, most from stakes wins, never finished outside of the top 2. Alex is eliminated. He can't catch Nate anymore. He's got the 1 horse in this race who could win a bunch of money, but not a second horse and no horse in the first race. The best he can do is second place. Charlie can still win. He doesn't have any horses in this race, but he's got 3 in the classic. It would be unlikely, but just for example, if they finish 1, 2, 3, that for sure would do it. And I'm going to cover some of your other stables here because I've done the math. Andrew can get to second. Jimmy can still get to second. Christian can still get to second. Walt can get to 4th place.
Wow.
Brett because he's got 4 horses in the Breeders' Cup Classic. If he swept the top 4, he could get to 3rd place still. Brett could. He doesn't have anyone in this in race 15 though. Zach with 8 horses in the last 2 races can actually still get to 2nd place. So quite a lot
baby.
to look at. But for me, the most important horse in the league right now is Wind Up Delivery. And I must have gotten lucky because I just happened to prepare a slide about that. So here's Wind Up. This is the horse we're looking at. Wind Up Delivery has 11 career entries, 4 top 3 finishes, and approaching the 6-figure $100,000 mark. She raced in last year's on Breeders' Cup Day in the Filly and Mare Turf, and I just want to take a quick flashback to that. So this was, a real crowded field, and Wind Up Delivery was racing for Kalen Stable at that time too. And I'll fast forward a little bit here, but had a pretty underwhelming performance. And so not only is Wind Up Delivery racing for a chance for Luck of the Irish to have a chance to race for the championship, but also for a little bit of personal redemption.
You pulled up a flashback to show how poorly I did.
to explain the story. There's a
To
chance
emphasize.
the
the
personal
importance.
redemption, because this is a horse with 4 top 3 finishes. Didn't do it on the big stage last time out. But could this time.
Perhaps.
Could perhaps this time. Top 4 would keep Kalen in it. Nate, what else you got?
Let's see here. Campfire Songs won this race last year in a huge upset, so might be nice for him to see if he can do it again.
All right, yeah, let's watch for the repeat. We got a whole bunch of 7-year-olds. Let's I'll just read them off real quick. Archivist, don't get me started. Peter Berg, 6 career wins. They're going for 7 here, which would be the most all
Let's
time.
fucking go.
You got Hand Grenades, They're in Cahoots, and El Brainiac. All right, so we got a lot to decide here. Let's do it.
All right. Insane race coming here. Breeders' Cup Turf on the wet turf here at Lewis Downs. Capacity crowd on their feet here for these last 2 races. Let's get the last one.
Watch for Wind Up Delivery in the top 4.
Absolutely. Wind Up Delivery. All eyes on Wind Up Delivery as we're getting the last horses in the gate and they're off. Campfire Song setting the pace early. Checks in the Mail now jumping out to a big lead. Peter Berg right there in second with Archivist, Newsbreaker, Good Authority, Campfire Songs all in that second group. But Checks in the Mail setting the pace as we hit the halfway point. Peter Berg right there. Brostradamus now taking the lead and Checks in the Mail back with Brostradamus and Peter Berg in that top group as they come around the turn. It's Checks in the Mail in the lead. Brostradamus trying to keep pace. Peter Berg, Hand Grenades, Prickly Pete a little bit too far behind. It's a 2-horse race as they hit the finish, and Checks in the Mail gets the win for Nate. Brostradamus in second for Zach. Hand Grenades in third for Mark. Peter Berg in fourth. Newsbreaker and Runt 5th and 6th for Stefan. And then it's Dig a Little Deeper, Wind Up Delivery, Good Authority, Archivist, 4 Old Time Sake, El Brainiac, Freeman T, Prickly Pete, Campfire Songs, Don't Get Me Started, No Diggity There, Cahoots, and Picturesque. Unfortunately, their Wind Up Delivery finishing out of the money. And Nate, your defending champ, getting the win.
Hey, Nate's the champion. That
There
puts
it
you
is.
on the reach.
There it is.
Congrats to Nate.
Congratulations.
I was very concerned with how much you were playing up Wind Up Delivery.
I was thinking the same thing, dude.
I cannot believe you played him up that much just to pull up an old race to show how much you sucked.
In last place.
What?
Well, hey, congrats to Nate. Nate, what do you have to say?
Yeah.
Repeat.
It's incredible. Didn't see this happening early in the season since we kind of struggled, but I can relax. And the strategy paid off, just trying to load up the early races so I didn't have to worry about the last one. So there we go.
There you go. And I'm watching for all of the rest of you next year. I'm cheering for all of the rest of you, or else we're gonna have to name this the Nate Willett Trophy. But he's 2 for 2. I got a note on checks in the mail too. So here's a little story. Last year in the 2-year-old draft, Nate was in first, and he only spent big on one horse. It was a D grade horse named Up in Smoke. Um, Up in Smoke suffered a career-ending injury earlier this year. So Nate's only D grade, now 3-year-old, only D grade 3-year-old Up in Smoke was out and is out. Then a little bit later, Johnny put checks in the mail D grade 3-year-old horse into a claims race, and I feel like so Nate claimed him, and it feels like it's a little bit like checks in the mail is Up in Smoke's replacement, and was enough to put it over the top and for Nate to win the championship. Also, how about this? This matters. There were 2 claims for checks in the mail on that day. Charlie was the other claim, but Nate's the one that ended up with the horse. I'm going to introduce them now. Checks in the mail.
Yeah.
All right.
Check
Congrats,
is
Nate.
definitely in the mail. Big check in the mail.
Big check.
Coming to
That big
Nate.
check. That's right. We'll update the standings here. You'll see that with the win and this last race is more money than most of the other ones. Nate has pulled away soundly.
Nicely done. I will mention mine and Christian Stable were very close going into that race. Peterburg ended up in 4th, and now my stable just around 5,000-6,000 behind Andrew there in the money.
All right, and then yeah, Charlie's got the 3 horses, and he could win almost 800 grand, but you can see that wouldn't be enough to do it. All right, this last race still matters. 2nd through 6th are still very much up for grabs. 6 A grade horses, the most talent we've ever had in a race. Full 20 horses in the field. Stacked. Nate, what do you got?
Yeah, 9 stakes winners. So this field as a whole has 17 stakes wins, 19 stakes
Ooh.
places, and 14 stakes shows. So a lot
Oh
of
my
talent here,
goodness.
but I'm rooting for Zach. Get that record. Rooting for Zach.
Okay. That's he's got a few chances. Jimmy, your dark horse, OIC, and then Snacky Chan and Pernicious have both won stakes races.
Indeed. So Zach throwing those 50 horses in there, coming down to the final race to see he can break that record. And as you said, just stacked with talent here in the Breeders' Cup Classic, our final race of the season. Thank you all for coming out, and packed crowd on standing room only here for the last race of the day and the season.
Yeah, and how about we just little tip of the cap to the 3 7-year-olds, Chasmo 69, and then Portugal the Fast is going to be our first ever A grade horse to retire, and she has been a big deal, over $1 million in prize money. Just super important horse, and has a chance to go out on top here. And then Pernicious, also crying out loud, 5 wins, 9 top 3 finishes in just 12 starts. Won the Saudi Cup this year, so could kind of bookend it with the 2 biggest stakes races of the year.
All right, without
Here we go.
further ado, let's head out to the muddy dirt track here at Lewis Downs. Let's get the last horse in the gate, and they're off. In the Breeders' Cup Classic, there is no spoon. WTF, why the face, setting the pace there with Checkmate. Luck of the Irish up there as well with Pernicious. OIC making their way up to 2nd and taking the lead. OIC, the huge dark horse. Sounds of the Void shuts that down real quick. Apology accepted now up into 2nd. And Beach Carrot there with Brett setting the pace as they come around the last turn. Beach Carrot, Foos Picket Fence, Sound of the Void, Luck of the Irish Big names up there at the top. Luck of the Irish now. Trying to pull away a half-length lead. Down the stretch they come. Checkmate is there in second. Luck of the Irish trying to hold everybody off. Sounds of the Void now up in the lead. Checkmate takes the lead late. And it's Checkmate with the win for Charlie. Another win for Charlie. Sounds of the Void ends up in second for Brett. Luck of the Irish in third for Kalen. And then Brett gets fourth and fifth as well with Intention and Beach Carrot. My horse, Apology Accepted, finishing just in the money there in sixth. And then it's Portugal the Fast just out of the money. They grow up so fast. Chasmo 69, WTF, Why the Face, There's No Spoon, Stacky Chan, The Dark Crusader, Foos Pick Offense, OIC, What the Fluff, Recency Bias. Stay hydrated. And unfortunately, we have two injured horses, Pernicious and Unknown Artist. Let's go to Chris for an update.
Yeah, hey, congrats, Alex. And we'll update the standings. First, let's talk about the injured horses. So, just like a dull roar, this was going to be Pernicious's last race anyway. And I actually don't even remember the severity. Let me check real quick. I think it was the severity would have been just double race fatigue, so kind of minor, but would have been their last race anyway. Unfortunately, Unknown Artist has suffered a career-ending injury
Oh, no.
here in the Breeders' Cup. So, thoughts after that. Still eligible to breed and a talented horse that's perhaps useful to Charlie for that purpose. But yeah, congrats to Alex. You've met Checkmate before. Let me pull it up here real quick and then we'll look at the standings. Another thing to look at is, hey, Brett finished second, fourth, and fifth, and he won
Huge.
2 stakes races when the 2-year-olds were racing. So everyone look out. You're on notice about Brett. There's Checkmate, who you've met before. I think this is the first time Sounds of the Void has finished ahead at Luck of the Irish. And so we'll update the standings. That puts
Yeah, just to rub it in there, Kalen.
Alex up into second. And you wonder if he wouldn't have missed 8 race days like he did, if we'd be telling a different story. It's going to be Kalen in third, Charlie in fourth. Since Apology Accepted finished up I think in sixth, it's going to be Jimmy ahead of Andrew.
Ow!
And then Christian, Brett, Walt, Zach, Johnny, Stefan, and Mark. And what a season.
Woo!
Hey, Jimmy, Tennessee sucks. How about that?
Yeah.
Good job, buddy. It's been you and me for the last couple of weeks, man. Nice.
Woo! So was a 26.75 in the bank. That check's in the mail too. Let's fucking go.
Next time I see you, the first beer's on you, all right?
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, thanks everyone again for your participation. You're the best. You guys are the best.
No, you.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll repeat that. You guys are awesome. The fact that we kept this league going with this many people is just amazing and a huge testament to all of the hard work that Chris did and continues to do. Just want to thank Chris once again for running all this shit, which is fucking insane. But yeah, thanks to Chris and thanks to everybody for tuning in and getting your horses in races. And yeah, a lot of fun, guys.
Great season, guys.
Thank you. All right. Congrats to Nate.
Thank you. Thank you. Time to get the champagne.
There it is.